Throughout the pandemic, the nuclear industry has stepped up in the fight against COVID-19. We are uncovering these stories through Ontario's Nuclear Advantage at Home edition. Hi, I'm Taylor McKenna, reporting live with Ontario's Nuclear Advantage, here with Heather Ferguson, Senior Vice President of Corporate Affairs at Ontario Power Generation. Heather, would you mind telling us a little bit about OPG and what you do for the nuclear industry?
So OPG is one of the largest generators in the province of Ontario. It employs approximately 10,000 employees in its operations, and even more if you think about downstream in the supply chain for the various folks that support our projects. When you think about the Darlington refurbishment project, the contribution of that project to the economy in Ontario is about $90 billion. When you think about spurring the economy and economic recovery coming out of COVID, that's why it was that much more important to get Unit 3 of the refurbishment back online, and we were able to do that in the September timeframe.
It's hard to believe it's almost a year since the pandemic began. How has OPG responded to this?
OPG was extremely grateful for the massive support we saw from all the frontline workers early days in the pandemic, including not only the healthcare workers, but all the other sectors that pitched in to keep things moving. The nuclear sector as a whole came together and thought about what they can do to support this. And so OPG was happy to be able to make some significant contributions of PPE. We also saw supply chain folks and the vendors able to retool in order to start producing some critical equipment needed to fight in the early days of the pandemic. So ventilators and face shields were among them as well. The biggest concern for OPG and for many, many employers and probably many people across the world is the mental health aspect of continuing to work and to live through a global pandemic. So OPG was pleased to sponsor an organization called jack.org, which provides mental health tools to the youth and the vulnerable.
That's incredible. Can you tell us a little bit about other projects OPG is working on at the moment?
OPG, along with other utility partners across Canada, have been working on the heels of the interprovincial MOU, which saw Ontario, Saskatchewan, New Brunswick, and most recently Alberta sign on to this. And we've been looking at an opportunity for Ontario and OPG to take leadership in this space to site the first on-grid size SMR in Ontario in the mid to late 2020 timeframe. And then immediately following that, we would hope to see broader deployment of SMRs across Canada, perhaps in Saskatchewan and in New Brunswick in later years, all really focused on the broader decarbonization of the electricity sector.
OPG is also working hard to promote diversity within the industry. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So very recently, our CEO, alongside 300 other Canadian CEOs, signed on to the Black North Initiative. And this pledge is about undertaking important steps to ensure that Black Canadians do not feel that there's any systemic barriers to their advancement within the Canadian employment scene. Not only is it the right thing to do, but I think there's more and more evidence that businesses that employ a diverse workforce and have diverse boards are among the more successful businesses out there. We've also established a mentorship program and a mentoring program for racialized employees to ensure that as they advance throughout their careers and various development stages within their careers, that they have proper mentorship support to help them navigate that and can ultimately achieve their career objectives and goals.
Thank you so much, Heather, for taking the time to be a part of Ontario's Nuclear Advantage at Home edition. OPG has done some phenomenal work throughout the pandemic, and I look forward to hearing what OPG has next in store.